I'm Stephanie,
I'm Meredith.
and welcome to This Is My Spooky Circus Week 2.
Yay. I knew we were getting ready to record, but
Uh-huh.
for some reason I was just not mentally ready,
Yeah,
verbally ready.
yeah.
I don't know.
I checked you.
Yeah, you got me this time.
Well, I did.
You slap finger guns at you.
So I was feeling the witchy vibes today.
I think you look amazing.
This is our witch episode.
This is our witch episode, and I failed on all accounts.
Oh, you got a witch shirt on?
Yes, but I mean, still, you are amazing with
Oh,
your witchiness.
thank you. I was watching tutorials on witchy makeup.
That's so funny. It looks good.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Especially since I'm not like a makeup person.
Right. Did you have these colors?
I did. I
Okay.
also I used to get
Like Ipsy or something?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so I have I don't know, probably like there has to be
Yeah.
like 15 palettes
Yeah.
that I've never opened because I
Yeah.
don't do makeup on a normal regular basis. And if
Yeah.
I do, it's like nudes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
very like light makeup, not
I did the Ipsy, I think it was one of
yeah.
whatever, for a while, and I would save when I got the random colors of, and I was like, I might need this for Halloween, and I've never.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, I was like, oh, I hope I have green and purple. There was like no purple, which surprised me, but there was like it's like pinkish purple. I was like, oh, that'll work. And so I kind of just mixed a bunch of stuff together and hoped for the best.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it. You look cute in your little hat.
And that was off of one of the ghosts. I got
Well,
crafty today.
I mean, you're just slow applause for
Bravo.
you. Yes. I have paint on my fingernails. We've been painting.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not even messing with taking it off until we're done. So
What are you painting?
so our front porch has the white railing.
Yeah.
We painted our columns black.
Oh.
I'm just digging the black vibe on everything, like paint it all black.
Yeah.
So we painted our columns black and the front casing that faces the street black. So just updated it a little bit. It was white and it was just chipping and some of them had rust stains on them. So I was like, let's just paint them. Yep, that's what we did. So we are officially done as of today. So I'm gonna take all that off. But apologies for the speckles.
Have nothing on.
So you went to Florida last weekend?
I did, and it was so good.
Good.
There was myself and then 4 other girls there, and then Nicole and Christy. Those 2 are so freaking amazing. They just have like the best vibes. You just feel calm and centered around them. So it was really cool. They did a lot of different exercises and, like getting to like.
Wait, physical?
No.
Mental.
No, mental. Well, they did do physical. I did not partake. Like they went on like a morning, like 8 o'clock walk or 8:15 walk or something like that. I was.
You're on vacay mode.
I was getting out of bed.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Making a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Sounds great.
But I mean, the pool was awesome out back. Like we laid out just for a little bit.
Yeah.
The first day.
Yeah.
Of course, as I said before, I was so out of my comfort zone and I was so nervous and so scared.
Yeah.
But they made everybody feel so comfortable. And then, once you get to talking to the other girls,
right.
You get just.
They probably felt the same way.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody was so, so, so nice.
Good. I'm so proud of you for going.
Oh, God.
Was it worth it? Do you feel like you got center?
Yeah. They did a hypnosis session. So in this house, there was a movie theater room. And so we all laid in the movie theater room in the reclining chairs. And Christy did a hypnosis session. And I mean, I was out like that. Like, I don't even think she got past you're walking down the stairs. And,
Really?
I was out like a light.
Okay.
And when I woke up or when she like brought everybody back or whatever, I felt so refreshed. If I take a nap during the day, I'm groggy and like miserable for the rest of the day. Like, I am not a napper.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I felt so refreshed. And I was like, that was like the best power nap ever. And Christy, she's like, did you hear me say that? And I was like, no, what did you say? And she said, well, when I was, bringing everybody back, I said, you're going to be refreshed and you're going to feel like this has been a great power nap. And
that's crazy to me.
I know. And I was like, well, just thank you for not making me cluck like a chicken.
Right.
Doing the chicken dance.
Well, like, have you heard any bells ring? Because, that's what you see too. Like, when you hear a bell ring, you'll do the chicken dance or whatever. So you've been completely normal.
Yeah.
So what was the point of the hypnosis? Just a relaxation thing?
So everybody wrote down in like a notebook what they like their main goals were for the trip.
Okay.
Getting clarity, getting whatever, figuring out what your blocks are.
Refresh, whatever.
Yeah. And so we all wrote down what our goals were and she used that for the hypnosis.
Okay. I
So,
gotcha.
but other people said that it just felt more like of an outer body experience, like where they were like lucid, but like not.
Yeah.
And I was just out. I didn't hear nothing. I mean, I was out.
Out.
I was like,
Oh my
I've got my
goodness.
pillow. I've got.
Right, right. How long do you think you were out? Do you know how
It
long
was
that?
like probably like I think 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
So I've never done that
I
before.
haven't either. You had easy traveling and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So on the way there, I got in my seat on the airplane and I'm like put my headphones on and
Yeah.
watching a movie and I'm like, why haven't we left yet? We're sitting there forever. So I take out my headphones and they're like, everybody on this plane knows that we're going to Orlando, correct? And I looked at the girl next to me and she's like, apparently there's like 5 people on the plane that got on the wrong plane.
Oh my God.
So they were checking everybody's seats and
Yeah.
checking. That was the only thing that
That's
was like
spooky. I
weird.
wonder if they were supposed to all go to the same place or if like they were just randomly
I don't
out.
know, but like, why would when they're scanning your tickets, would that not
Right.
be caught?
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, have you ever seen the meme that like you think you're having a bad day in the airport in Austria? There's a stand for everybody who's trying to go to Australia or something like that who goes to the wrong place.
Oh God, that would suck.
Yeah, because they're not close
Oh,
and very
and
different. Yeah.
yeah, you're not
So,
seeing kangaroos.
no, you are not. You are not. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you're back.
Yes.
Did you have a good week? Anything major going on?
No,
Was Dylan in school?
yeah.
Okay.
They had off Friday for a volunteer day. They have to do community service.
I saw Jonas. I took some blankets to one of the churches in Lake Wiley that they were collecting for Western North Carolina. And I walked in and I was like, where can I put these? And I hear, hey, Miss Meredith. And I was like, Jonas. So, yeah. And I didn't know that they were doing that. And because I was giving him a hard time. It's like, oh, are you doing community service for that charge you caught? Just, he was like, no. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah. So their school requires them to do community service in order to graduate.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. They do get off specific days out of the year to do those.
To meet those criteria.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's been a very like
Regular week.
yeah, nothing.
So Clover was out of school this week, and I hate this week that they're off. I hate it. When I loved having Jackson around, but it just throws my schedule off so bad trying to get because he still had football practice.
Right.
So, doing all of that, and then of course he's like, I want to go to what you call, somebody's house, and I'm like, how you getting there, dude? And so I have to rearrange my work meetings and make sure I'm still doing all my things. It's just
Yeah.
I know some people really love having the weeks off for our family and for families that have kids that do sports or band or other things. It's tough.
Yeah.
So between painting those freaking columns and just getting Jackson where he needed to be. Oh, I worked last weekend. I'm helping a friend named Ashley. She's a photographer. So I worked with her last weekend at a wedding. She needed an assistant to help just like make sure ties are straight and fluff trains and stuff. It was so much fun.
Really?
It was exhausting. It was like an 8-hour thing of just like bending over and fluffing trains. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
I'm all about like looking for something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why not? I'm gonna find something one day that I'm just great at and that I love.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't found that yet. Well, I think we were really good at this.
And I love this.
Me too.
So I mean this might be it.
This might be it. We gotta expand.
We do need to expand. We do have some expansion ideas that we were just throwing around.
Yes.
So exciting times.
Yes, it is.
I know you have some tattoos.
I do.
Do you want more?
I do.
I do too.
So bad.
I do too. I have pieces in my mind that I want. I know I want a floral thing. I think we've talked about that before. I love Harry Potter.
So do I.
I want some kind of little tiny something. Even maybe just the little symbol,
Yeah. The sorting hat.
the sorting hat. Gryffindor. I didn't know you loved Harry Potter.
Dylan does not,
Jackson's not a fan.
but I do.
I do too. Did you read the books?
I did.
Yeah.
My brother did too. So when Harry Potter first came out, we both read them.
Yeah.
And then we went and saw the movies together.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Have you tried to see the ones that are after it? Not a fan?
No.
No. But yeah, I do want a little teeny tiny Harry Potter tattoo. Like, like the triangle. I can't remember what you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though. I'm gonna get a wand on my finger and then I'll just
Have you got the Harry Potter world?
Oh, yes. We have been several times. I want to go back, but I think they're building something else. Have you been before?
No, because Dylan never wanted to go.
Yeah, I kind of forced my family to go.
Yeah, I
We're
was
we're
so bummed.
we're supposed to go next year at some point, but then they're building new stuff, so we were just gonna kind of wait again. But you need to go.
Yeah, let's go.
Pack it up. Did you read our book before or after you went? A little bit of both.
After.
Okay, I enjoyed this book.
I did too.
So this week we read The Coven by Harper L. Woods,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it.
Let's start out with if you're going to read it, if you haven't read it yet, just listen to the trigger warnings and make sure that this is not going to trigger anything for you.
This was a little more everything than stuff we normally read.
Yeah. It got a little spicy.
It got spicy, it got graphic, it got bloody.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
so let's jump right in.
Let's go with the blurb.
Yeah.
All right. Revenge. Raised to be my father's weapon against the coven that took away his sister and his birthright. I would do anything to protect my younger brother from suffering the same fate. My duty forces me to the secret town of Crystal Hollow and the prestigious Hollows Grove University, where the best of the brightest of my kind learn to practice their magic, free from human judgment. There are no whispered words here, no condemnation for the blood that flows through my veins. The only animosity I face comes from the beautiful and infuriating headmaster, Alaric Grayson Thorne, a man who despises me just as much as I loathe him and everything he stands for. But that doesn't mean secrets don't threaten to tear the school in two. No one talks about the bloody massacre that forced it to close decades prior, only the opportunity it can afford to those fortunate enough to attend. Because for the first time in 50 years, the Coven will open its wards to the 13 promising students destined to change the world if the ghosts of Hollow Grove's victims don't kill them first.
Okay.
Again, there was tons of trigger warnings.
Lots of trigger warnings.
Just
for everything from feeding people to eating people to
blood, murder. And again, it got a little bit spicy.
It was a little explicit.
The second book is way more spicy.
Okay.
So just trigger warning.
Trigger warning for me when I get the second one.
But this book had me interested from the start.
Me too.
And I do like the supernatural stuff. So it was a great book for me.
Yeah. I like supernatural stuff too, but I will admit this one is probably a little more like demonic than I'm normally into. I don't normally like to read it. I'm fascinated, but it scares me.
Okay.
It just scares me. But I did enjoy this one. It had me from the very beginning, like you said, when she's hanging out with her brother, and then it just goes immediately into the story.
Yeah.
So I will admit I got lost a few times.
Okay.
I had to really listen to the end like 6 times because I was like, "Wait, yes,
really?
Yes." I don't know. I might have been multitasking too much.
Yeah.
But it was still just a great book.
Yeah, yeah. So there was a quote from the book, and I think it encompasses Willow, who is the main character, and it said, "If it is order you value, then I will bring you nothing but chaos." And like I don't know why that line jumped out to me so much in the book, but I was like, "Yes, girl."
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Well, in the book, so she's a little sassy. She is not demure.
No.
She's
not cutesy.
Right. She speaks her mind. She's bold. She's not, a lot of these other people in the school are just very withdrawn and chill, and she is
so everybody else falls in line is how I saw it.
Yes, 100%. They fall in line and do what they're told.
She don't give a flying flip.
Right. And they act the way they've been taught they need to act, and she is just herself, unapologetically so.
Right. So we're gonna go do some spoilers.
Yep.
So her mom faked her death.
Yes.
And so she raised Willow away from the whole witches, everything, but she still taught her.
Right. She still knew she was a witch, and she taught her the ways, and she taught her the history. She wasn't raised around any other witches and stuff.
So where I got a little bit mixed up was with the dad.
Yes.
Because I initially thought that Willow's mom raised her on her own. And then like later in the book you find out that the dad had a big hand in certain things.
Yes.
It goes very, very much more into detail in the second book, and you're like, oof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, especially when she has a brother.
Yeah.
By a different father.
Right.
It just got a little muddled.
Yeah.
Right
So
there.
I was a little bit lost
Yeah.
in that aspect of the
Yeah.
book. That dad is such a
Yeah. Well, I mean, they raised her for their own to use her.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was his whole.
Yeah, his whole
The mom didn't know what was going on
Yes.
with the dad,
Okay.
how the dad was whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ending.
Yeah, like I said, I listened to it several times. And I might have been just trying to listen to it too fast too, because I liked it. I wanted to hear it fast.
Mhm.
So I might have just, it's probably just me. But very interesting. Did not see it coming with all the things coming out.
No, and I immediately went to go get the second book because I was like, I need to know.
Yeah. You texted me, you're like, finished it, on to the second book now, or something like that. And I was like, dang it. And then I finished it and I went to get it, and that's when it said you can join the waiting list or
Yeah.
whatever. And I was like, oh, Steph. But now I'm out of my uses.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I know.
I hate
I
that.
know too.
Like,
Let me read.
let-
Why can't I read? Just let me read.
I was gonna put Dylan's library card if I can find it, like the
Oh, that's a
second
good
account.
idea.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
idea.
probably just sign him up for another account
Yeah.
because or another card because I'm sure his expired.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. So the ending. Okay.
they reveal
Mm-hmm.
that Gray
Mm-hmm.
is the devil.
He is the freaking devil.
He is Satan. Bananas.
Freaked me out.
But wait till you get to the second book. Oh, girl,
Okay.
oh
Well,
crazy.
she had been trying to ask him what's his
Yeah, with
real
his name.
name.
Yeah.
And apparently he was like, there's power in names. We don't just give out whatever. And he was like, you've been wanting to know who I am. Okay, so this is where I was confused. So more detail spoilers. So skip ahead if you don't want any like this stuff. Okay, so he had two bodies.
So because the door to
Right,
hell is
right,
whatever got
right.
sealed, and so he couldn't leave hell, I guess, in his body that he was in, or
Uh-huh.
and
So
they
it's like
put his spirit or whatever, or his like
just in a vessel.
yeah, in a vessel, which
Okay.
was a vampire.
Okay.
It was like a vampire
I
vessel,
mean, I know it
and
was a
that's what
vampire, but
and that's what like all like the vessels in the book were
yes,
vampires.
they're called vessels. Yes.
And so he was like the head of the vessels.
Yes.
Crazy.
Okay. My,
I literally like my jaw hit. I was like, he's a what?
yeah. Yeah.
He's who?
He's the who? Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. 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 I really need to get my hands on that second book.
It answers so many questions.
Okay.
But then
Okay.
like
Okay.
but then it leaves you hanging again, and there's not a third book yet.
Oh, gosh. Um. Okay.
In the second book, which that goes way into her past, like how she was raised.
Okay. So you'd
Mhm.
hear more about that family dynamic
Yeah,
and
like
the
the dad.
dad. Okay.
And
Okay.
what the lengths that he was pushing her, and
Okay.
so you will hear all of that stuff.
Here.
What would you rate the book?
Oh, I'd rate this book like a
Me
9.
too.
Even though it is not, and I'm okay with supernatural, like witchy stuff, vampire stuff, that isn't it. It's the demonic thing that really freaks me out.
Yeah.
Because I believe demons are real.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it bothers me so
Yeah.
much. But even with all that, a 9, or if not a 10.
Yeah, I really, really, really liked
I
it.
did
And
too.
like the second book was, I would say, maybe better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it answered so many of my questions.
Okay.
Um,
When the second book was not available, I just looked up the author, and she has several other books, and I have a feeling they'd be just as good
yeah.
because they kind of on the same vibe.
Mhm.
So I think this is going to be somebody I'm going to read more of.
Yeah, same for sure. Was
Yeah.
100% in.
Did you like the narrator?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she did good.
Yeah.
I did get lost sometimes when she was do the man voice.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I know.
yeah, I enjoyed everything about this one.
Yeah. What's our next book?
Our next book is The Vampire Diaries.
Yes. So the first book,
The first book.
and that's what the show was based off of.
Yes.
Have you started listening to it?
No.
Okay.
You?
I did. I
Oh,
finished it
you finished it
yesterday.
already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I've actually read it before. I
Okay.
have the actual book.
You have the book. I have watched a little bit of the show, so I have an idea, but I know the book's gonna be better, or maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've done that.
Yeah.
Since I watched.
Right when Vampire Diaries came out as a TV show,
Yeah.
I bought the first book
Yeah.
and I had read it. That was like, I mean, a long, long, long time ago.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to read it again after watching the whole series and the differences.
Yeah. So vampires will be next week,
Yes.
and that'll be our book. I can't remember the author, but you guys know who it is.
Yeah.
What it is.
Dylan and Ruthie started watching the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, did
A
they?
couple months ago. And I was like, it's such a good show.
Yeah. Jackson, we would like to watch Outer Banks. Have you seen that?
Mhm.
The new season dropped.
Oh, I did not watch
We
the
haven't
season
watched
yet.
it. We haven't watched it. It's just been crazy.
So me and Dylan used to watch these shows together, and now he watches them with Ruthie. So I got ditched.
She's adorable, though.
I know.
She'll just have to.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know.
It's what it is.
It is. So, since it's our witchy week, I was trying to find some like witch
Which
stuff.
stuff?
And of course, everything I see is witchcraft in Hollywood
Yeah.
and how really like creepy and
Mm-hmm.
bad Hollywood is, which
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I think we all kind of now know for sure, but
Right.
I didn't realize how deep it went and like how long it has.
It's been a thing.
Yeah, and it's scary. I felt like I needed to like cleanse
Right.
my
Like the
energy.
sage.
Yeah, like I mean, it freaked me out a little bit
Yeah.
about all the stuff that I saw and I
How
read.
far back are we talking?
Well, since the start of Hollywood, really. I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah, like Hollywood
Okay.
is just like a bad place.
Yeah.
No desire
Mm-mm.
ever to go there. But have you seen the Michelle Lamy?
Mm-mm.
She literally looks like a witch. She wants to look like one. I mean, that
Okay.
she has dyed black fingers.
Ugh.
I mean, she draws like a black line on her forehead. I mean, she
Yeah.
looks like a witch.
Okay.
But she was born in 1944.
Okay.
She has been a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
cabaret dancer, restaurant owner, and she was in France, I believe. She was born in France. And when she came to the States, she got into fashion design and met her husband. I didn't know who he was, but
Mm-hmm.
he's apparently very like prominent
Okay.
designer,
Okay.
Rick Owens. And he is known as the Dark Lord of Fashion.
Ugh.
And their shows are very dark,
Yeah.
very, very dark.
Yeah.
But she is known to have relationships with everybody, and everybody's a big name, and they all respond to her very weird. There were so many clips
Mm-hmm.
of her going to parties, and everybody almost dropping everything and like going over to her, and she's got this
A
like
spell on some
I don't know, dude. It is so freaking weird.
That
It is
is
so
weird. So she's still alive?
yeah. She was at Usher's parties. She goes to all of these things where all these celebrities are, and they all run over to her almost. It's like
That is creepy.
so she has been known to have relationships with ASAP Rocky, Rihanna, who are known to be
Mm-hmm.
involved in,
Mm-hmm. The scandal.
well, no, like into more like rituals and
Okay.
witchcrafty stuff.
Okay.
The Kardashians, which
Mm.
there is so much on them with witchcraft.
There is, but have you read Chris's book?
No,
It's supposed to be really Christian. I mean, that's what the book says, but I see your face.
no,
They're not fooling anybody.
no. Kanye West, Usher, just like anybody prominent.
It's almost like all these people sold their souls.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So she's known as a high priestess. Priestess? I can't
Priestess.
say that. Priestess.
Yeah,
I can't say that word.
it's okay.
Her husband is known as the Dark Lord of Fashion. And there was a girl on TikTok. Her name on TikTok, it's Retta Boyd, and I'll link the TikTok
Okay.
into our notes. But she said that she went to the Usher after party for the Met Gala,
Mm-hmm.
and she is very Christian. She wanted to get into the music industry, and somebody had invited her to go as their
Mm-hmm.
guest. And she said she had a great time. She was like dancing. She like actually met, Usher. She met like all these
Yeah.
like people and got contacts. This woman comes and she said like she entered and it was like a dark
Presents.
all over. And she was like, at that moment, God told me I need to go. Get out of here.
That is
Yeah.
crazy creepy.
Yeah, I quoted it. She said that there was something so dark and sinister about her, and she immediately felt like she needed to get out of the party. She was like, "I'm out."
I see you have a list there. Is that other
I do.
celebrities
Yeah,
that are
so, who are supposedly, and this is
right?
all alleged,
All alleged. You're not
uh,
here to get smart.
but probably true. It has got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So the Kardashians,
Uh-huh.
they have talked a lot about different things on their show.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim was so excited to get a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair in the episode where they got her the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, I can clone her now," or something to that effect.
Oh,
Yeah.
that just gives me
So Solange and Beyonce.
Mm.
And this was really interesting. So this dude on TikTok was on his journey to become a warlock,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in a witchcraft shop,
Mm-hmm.
and Solange came in. And he said to the owner, "Is that Solange?" And the owner said, "Yeah, she's in here a lot, and we do a lot of different rituals for their family."
What?
Yes. Beyonce,
Mm-hmm.
one of her former employees, actually got a restraining order against her and the court docs say it's because of witchcraft.
Okay.
Erica Badu openly admits
Oh yeah.
that she is, and she said Beyonce's career is based off of the dark arts.
Oh
I don't know how true this one is. Taylor Swift, this people, there's
yeah.
rumors out there,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Giselle, Tom Brady's ex,
Really?
supposedly openly admitted that she does like different rituals and stuff.
This just makes me feel like gross. Just
And listen, there's like light magic, dark
yeah.
magic, whatever. But all of these people are not participating in the good stuff.
Yeah.
As far as I have read or saw.
It's just crazy.
It's like the dark arts,
Mm.
like Voldemort.
Shh, don't say his name.
He don't scare me. No.
Stop. I don't have my wand yet on my finger.
So that was just like a short list of who I found that
Okay.
is involved.
Creepy.
So creepy.
That's crazy. So I also tried to dig a little bit into some witch stuff or whatever, and I just got stuck on the Salem trials. My history nerd self, I was like, "Oh, let's just listen to this podcast. Oh, just listen to this podcast." Very intriguing and crazy. Like if you had a mole on your body, you were a witch.
Yeah.
All of those things that I'm sure I think I learned some of this in school in the history, but just to hear it again as an adult and to know how cuckoo it is. So that's kind of where my path went.
Well, I did get the top 10 things women got accused of witchcraft for.
Okay. Is
So,
this current or is this in like
well, I don't know, it's on list first. This is from like the Salem witch trials, like
perfect?
back in the day.
Yep.
All right, so number 10 is, oh, and this is list first. It's the same website I used as last week.
Okay.
And I'll link this into our show notes as well.
Okay.
But so the number 10 is being too sick to get out of bed and go to church.
Meant you were a witch.
Meant you were a witch. Number 9.
If you were just featured in someone's nightmare,
Mhm.
you can't know. Oh, that's so crazy. Like nobody can control that.
Yeah. Number 8, having a cat named Satan. I don't know why you would name your cat Satan.
I don't know either, but that's not the cat's fault.
Yeah. Number 7,
Healing a sick child.
you were a witch if you healed a sick child. Number 6, being identified as a witch by a child.
Oh, and
Could you imagine though?
these
Like,
being little bad babies, kids be like, she's a witch.
could you imagine today though?
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh,
You
yeah.
look at a kid wrong in there.
Oh, yeah. These couple that were walking behind me at the football game the other night, they said F every other word. I definitely looked at them like that. They would have got me in trouble. Number 5 is being in an abusive marriage.
Because that's your fault.
This is so stupid.
Number 4, losing a loved one to a natural disaster.
Oh my gosh. Number 3, having argumentative male relatives.
How was that
A
like,
woman's fault.
yeah,
There weren't ever any men witches, right? Back then.
I have no
I don't
clue.
remember ever hearing any. Okay.
Number 2, having veins in your eyes.
Oh my gosh.
So if you cried too hard or you
Right. Or if you sneeze and bust a blood vessel in your eye.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
number 1.
Having a parent who was a witch, even if you were a child.
So that was like the top 10 crazy things that women got.
Well, one thing that they said in one of these podcasts that I was listening to was that women would be in jail for being a witch, be pregnant, they would have the child, and the child would be accused of being a witch because of this reason, and they would just both die.
Yeah.
The end. So that's amazing. That's awesome.
All right. So going on with our witchiness.
Okay.
But last October in Hanover, Pennsylvania, the owner of the Serpent Key Shop, which is like a new agey,
Okay.
whatever, and they do like tarot card readings,
Okay.
stuff like that. 2 police officers went in, and this poor girl, she's 26 years old, shop owner, does tarot readings. She's like all, in it.
Yeah.
These 2 cops told her she was under investigation for being a witch and reading tarot cards because in Pennsylvania, fortune telling is illegal.
Okay.
And they were like, well, we're not going to arrest you now, but just if we get a complaint, you're going to jail. And then I'm like, how can that be illegal, right? Like, there's 4 states in the United States that fortune telling is illegal.
I'm surprised we never came to any of these in our previous segment.
North Carolina is one of them, which is bizarre because
Didn't you?
I just had
Yeah.
one done in Gastonia.
The place where you went to have it done, Don't give the exact name because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but is it just like a new age place?
No, they were doing a pop-up shop almost, like a
Okay.
pop-up thing.
Okay.
They had like a couple people there that were doing
Yeah.
the tarot card readings. But yeah, North, I was like,
That is
so
crazy.
I was like, oh,
I wonder why it's illegal.
because it said it's defrauding fortune telling because
Oh,
so they have to have in all the other states there has to be like something that says for entertainment
entertainment.
purposes only. But yeah, there was 4 states.
That's wild.
Right?
That is
Can you
wild.
imagine though? Like,
No. And that was recently. That was, you said, last October.
yeah. Okay, so we need to talk about DiddyTok for a second.
Always.
Okay. Did you listen to?
The Kim Porter book?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I listened to the TikTok woman, all her, holy crap.
Right?
She was like, I'm going to read it so you don't have to. Here you go.
Yeah.
So if you haven't, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but
it was linked in last week's show notes.
yep, look in last week's show notes. Oh my gosh, everybody died of pneumonia. And then she called at the end and she was like, y'all, there's a lot to dig into there.
The Tupac stuff,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
the Biggie stuff.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear where Biggie and Tupac were branching out on their own
They were gonna
together?
have their own
Like
yes.
East Coast, West Coast was not a Biggie
No.
problem.
No. It was so wild to me that I can't remember who they were talking about specifically, but they were like, yep, they died of pneumonia. Yep, they died of pneumonia. And she died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy, y'all. Y'all have got to read it. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, he basically trafficked her. I mean, he would
Oh,
not
yeah.
let her go.
Yes.
I thought the Tupac thing was very interesting
Mhm.
as far as Tupac was not down to
Right.
get down with Diddy.
He was not down to get down with Diddy. No, he wasn't.
And according to the book, basically what sparked the
The little tension, I
yeah,
guess, that escalated into Tupac being untupac.
supposedly.
Supposedly, all alleged.
Now there's things saying he's in Cuba, like alive, faked his death, and he's in Cuba. I don't know.
Yeah, I listened to it that day. So it's been a couple weeks, so my memory's a little fuzzy, but it was amazing to hear. And she did a good job recapping it too.
So good.
She did a good job giving you all the information. It's like you don't want to believe this stuff is true,
But it is.
but there's so many pieces of evidence that point to it being true. It's terrifying.
Have you seen anything about this Allie Carter?
I feel like I have. Tell me about Allie Carter.
So she had come out in 2021, and nobody believed her, talking about all the abuse with Diddy. She had said that there was tunnels under Diddy's house where kids were kept in cages. That's where they held auctions. And that it was like walking down an aisle of a clothing store where all the clothes are featured, but it was just people, humans, in the tunnels. And of course, when the FBI raided or whoever raided, they did find the tunnels going to these different places. But nobody believed her. This is years ago. She said that Diddy is a small fish in this pond. She was actually trafficked, and CPS had a big hand in trafficking her.
Oh.
Getting her to the people that
CPS is in Child Protective Services?
Yes.
And if Diddy's a small fish, who's the freaking big fish?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to know. I mean, I want to.
I do want to know because those people need to be taken care of.
They do, but that's just terrifying.
She was naming names of who abused her.
Okay.
Who was involved with it, and allegedly, it goes all the way up to our president and his son. She had given details of.
Is she still with us on this earth?
She is. She dropped some names.
Current president?
Current president.
Allegedly?
Alleged. Her videos are all over right now. I mean, because
I've seen her name. I just haven't clicked on it. Every time I see that, I think about Nick Carter.
So do I. So she also claims to be Tupac's daughter, like an illegitimate daughter, that like was hidden from whatever because it didn't go with his
persona,
whatever.
kinda.
Yeah, at the time. And then the mom was unfit.
Okay.
She was abused in her home, so she got taken out of her home and put in Child Protective Services.
And then it turned into this.
Yes, and then she was trafficked.
Ooh.
Yes. So just a warning, if you guys do go find her, some of her stuff is very graphic. It was very disturbing. Trigger warnings all over the place for child abuse in every manner you could think of.
Okay. You've been warned.
And with everything coming out, You tend to
Mm-hmm.
think it's true, especially since she came out with all these allegations years ago.
That's what's so crazy is that years ago, there's been several people that have tried to say something, and I don't know, who knows? They might have been working on it behind the scenes, but I don't know. It's just this whole thing is just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
and bigger.
And like it's oh, it just gives me like it just makes me sick to
A
think.
100%. 100%. I'm glad that some things are getting uncovered, and I know he was in court this week for things. He's still being held.
He can't get out until his hearing now has been denied 3 times, and
Yep.
the only way that it could ever get overturned is if it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court,
Yep.
and they're not going to take that case.
Yep. And his court date sometime in 2025.
Yeah.
Is I want to say October, but it might be February, and who knows. Let's have a lighter note.
Okay. Well, or am I the a-hole?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be later, but I did find a witchy one.
Am I the a-hole for cursing my ex's new girlfriend? Huge trigger warning with the C. Pregnancy loss, stalking, and harassment. Account is new to retain teensy bit of privacy. Okay.
Oh, look at her name.
Spicy meat sauce. That's funny. Okay. Some context first. I, 27 female, was in a relationship with my ex Jonathan, 28 male, for just over 3 years, beginning of 2020 to August 2023. We were moving forward with our relationship. That summer, we discussed moving in together, marriage, kids, the whole bit. In August 2023, I caught him cheating on me, and that pretty much put an end to it then and there. By September, he was in a relationship with the girl he cheated on me with, and by October, she was pregnant and was moving into his place. I'm not going to go on and on about how crushing this was because it should be obvious. I was a mess. There were a few days I had to call in and miss work because the pain was so paralyzing. Luckily, my boss is sympathetic and I was able to get back into things soon. But for most of October and into November, I was an effing mess. A friend, Sarah, and I went out sometime around Halloween to a witch themed night. Neither of us are really into that stuff, but one of our other friends had a booth there and we went to support and have a cute night. We dressed as witches and had some drinks. At one point began venting to my friend about my ex. I could tell she really didn't want to hear about it. She's still friends with him and didn't want to take sides. So I wrapped up my sentence and said something like, I should curse him and get over with it, ha ha. We both started laughing and continued with the night. I didn't mention him or anything about the relationship for the rest of the night. I need to be very clear on this. This was meant as a joke. And she put that in all caps. So take heed.
She yelled it.
She yelled it at us. I don't do that stuff or believe in it. It was just a dumb joke inspired by the setting we were in and the general spooky witch on Halloween vibe. I forgot I'd even said it until way later. I get that. Sounds like something we would, I mean,
I would totally.
yeah. Halloween is over, the holidays proceed on. I'm getting over my ex, hanging out with friends, and just generally getting my life together. I don't hear from my ex, and I don't want to. In the new year, I started going on dates and met my current boyfriend in February. Everything blew up around the beginning of June. Jonathan's girlfriend, Kelly, was due around then, but I had been doing my best not to think about it. I didn't want to know or care. I just wanted to keep on moving with my life. Around 2 a.m. on June 12th, I get a Facebook message from Kelly. We had never spoken before this. Not about the cheating, not about the baby, nothing. The message is garbled and run on, almost like you were texting a drunk person. It said, my baby is effing dead because of you, F you, F you, F you, F you. I didn't respond and simply screenshotted it, sent it to my friend, the mutual, who went to witch night with me, asking, WTF is this? I knew she'd met Kelly a few times and was the closest person I knew to Jonathan at that point. She responds the next morning with, ah, crap, followed by a longer message explaining that Kelly had gone into labor a few days ago and the baby had unexpectedly been stillborn. Everything had been healthy beforehand and just went to crap at the last moment. Obviously, both Jonathan and Kelly had been taking it hard, as was to be expected. I wasn't sure how to process all of this in that moment. Of course, I felt and still feel awful for them, but I didn't know what to say or do about it. I just let the message hang for a minute while it sunk in. Sarah followed up with another text saying, I might have mentioned the cursing thing to her. I didn't think it was a big deal, but she might have latched onto that. That's when I remembered that, quote, I should curse him thing from months ago. Again, a joke with literally no intent or anything behind it was ever supposed to make it back to her. Now I'm pissed off at my friend and upset about this other thing. I honestly just left her on red because I wasn't sure what to say. I needed some time to process, so I turned my phone off and took my dog for a walk, trying to figure out what to do. If I should message Jonathan, just let it go. Should I be mad at Sarah for talking about me to my ex's new girlfriend and the woman he cheated on me with, etc. I get back and turn my phone back on, even more messages from Kelly. You effing ruined everything, you evil blank. You can't be effing happy for anyone but yourself, you evil bee. Sacrifice yourself, but not my child.
Oof.
At this point, I realize I need to block her and talk to Jonathan about this because I can't deal with it. So I screenshot the messages, send them in a text. I gave him my condolences for his loss, but reminded him I'm no longer a part of his life and they both need to respect that. I'm not a punching bag for the rough times in someone else's life, and I have not involved myself in anything they've done since the day we broke up. I got a call almost immediately after I sent the text to Jonathan, and he was screaming at me like I never heard. He never rose his voice at me like that when we were together. He basically said that, quote, after what I've done, Kelly deserves to grieve in her own way, and that I have no right to tell her how to handle her feelings and grieve. This was all my fault anyway, so the least I can do is hear her out. He said he saw my pics from the, quote, Coven meeting where it happened at the witch market thing. I repeat over and over that I didn't do anything. I made a seasonal themed breakup joke at a hokey witchcraft event. There was no coven, there was no spell, but he's now utterly convinced that I cursed his unborn child despite never showing an interest or belief in any of that stuff before. I almost couldn't believe what I was hearing. It would have been comical if it wasn't so centered around a serious issue. We go back and forth, and I end up ending the conversation by telling him once again I didn't do anything and that both of them need to stay away and not contact me. I told him to focus on his healing and I hung up. Later that night, I started to get texts from an unknown number. They were from Kelly. Same type of messages over and over. I'm evil. I'm a witch. I killed her baby over and over. I had been playing a game when the text started and I finally checked my phone and I had received 57 texts in just over an hour. Against my better judgment, I texted her back, telling her once again, I'm sorry for your loss, but she's not to contact me again. I blocked her, and Jonathan went ahead and blocked any social media of hers that I could find as well. The next few weeks were quiet. I talked to my boyfriend about it, and he was incredibly supportive. He said they sounded insane, and I made a right choice for blocking them. Life went to normal, and I tried to shake that feeling of weirdness. It was about 3 weeks before the in person stuff started. I was sitting on my balcony. I ran a house after dark, smoking a bit and listening to some music while I waited for my boyfriend to head over after work. There's an area of the road to the left a bit where the trees obscure the road from where I was sitting. I noticed after a few minutes there was a car sitting there, lights off, completely dark. It's unusual for cars to park there because there's no houses in that area. It's low visibility, generally just a bad idea. It sat there for a few minutes before slowly crawling towards my house, still lights off. It was obvious the driver was looking for something. It slowed to a near stop right in front of my house and sped off again. I figured it was just someone who got lost until the next night. I was taking a bathroom break, heard the creak of my mailbox opening and closing. I look out the window and see a blonde head ducking into the same car from last night. My heart sinks as I realize this has to be Kelly. There's not really anyone else it could be. The car speeds off and I ask my boyfriend if he could go retrieve whatever was in my mailbox because in my mind she's probably waiting down the road to run me over. He brings back a piece of paper that has a Bible verse written on across it. We found it was Isaiah 54:17, if you're curious. At this point, I'm pissed because I thought this was over, and I know the only way she could have gotten my address was if Jonathan gave it to her. I unblocked his number and sent him a long text, once again reiterating that his behavior is not appropriate, and then if Kelly comes to my house one more time, the police are going to be notified. Jonathan did not respond, not that I expected him to. About a week later, she came to my house while I was at work and my boyfriend was home. I had shown him a picture of her just in case of this exact situation. He said she came up, knocked on the door, and asked if I was home, almost like a child asking their friend to come out and play, his description. He reiterated the same things I had, that I hadn't done anything, it was inappropriate for her to come around. He's sorry for her loss, but please don't contact us again. What else are we supposed to say? She eventually went away, but not before sitting in front of the house in her car and having a screaming, crying conversation with someone on the phone. I'm so freaked out for them. When I came home, my boyfriend told me about this and we decided it was time to make a police report. We went to the station and talked to them, but they said there wasn't anything they could do without more evidence and that it wasn't illegal to ask if someone was home. They told us to keep documenting and get security cameras. About halfway into July, oh my gosh, this has been going on for a year for her. About halfway into July was when the unknown calls and texts started to come. Calls from unknown numbers, I'm assuming payphones, in the middle of the night, texts from some app that gives you a fake number. The calls hang up as soon as I answer, so I stop answering after a few. The texts are all vaguely threatening, saying stuff like, I'll face my reckoning, and soon everyone will know what I did. Evil never wins in the end. Princesses get the victory while the evil witch will fail. I've never met anyone who texts like that. Me neither, girl. It just keeps getting worse. I have come home to find torn up roses on the front porch, my screen door broken. I'm pretty sure she's been in the backyard too. More Bible verses in the mailbox. I had been slacking on getting those cameras, but I did and put an order in the last few days, but I doubt that'll stop her at this point. I keep updating the police, but they still say no crime has been committed yet. I basically can't even take a walk without my boyfriend anymore because I feel like she's waiting to catch me alone. I'm so paranoid coming home from work, and I keep checking to make sure she isn't following. I've called Jonathan one more time about this to try to get her off my back, but he told me to stop making everything about myself, and I don't get to tell a woman in Kelly's position how to feel because I could never understand what she's going through. My friendship with Sarah has been pretty strained because I honestly don't know why she said anything. She said it before the birth, but still, she's tried talking to Kelly, but she says both her and Jonathan are pretty latched onto this topic, and her family is dealing with this together. Neither of us knew what that meant, but I didn't bother digging further. I just wanted all to go away. I genuinely don't know what to do at this point. I'm hoping the cameras will help when they arrive, but she is literally being encouraged in this delusion by basically everyone in her life. Nothing I say makes any difference. Even my once hyper rational atheist ex now seems to think I'm a witch who caused the death of his baby. I guess this is more just a vent. I know I'm not the a hole. I just don't know if there's anything I could have done differently here. No one I talk to has experienced this, and I can't even find anything on Google. I'm assuming this is some kind of postpartum mental health issue, but I can't find much about it being directed outwards to specific people. I feel like I'm being stalked and no one cares because she's a postpartum mother and there's nothing she could possibly do to hurt me.
Yes, there is.
The only people I've been able to confide in are my parents, my boyfriend, and my boss, who's been helping me leave work safely. Yeah, I don't know. If anyone has anything, advice, or perspective, I'd love to hear it because I just don't know what to do anymore other than what I've done. I don't feel like I'm the a hole, but this has been going on for so long that I don't even know anymore. I barely sleep and I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. Wow. Poor girl.
That is definitely like a flippant thing that I would say
Totally.
jokingly. And the fact that they are running with this hard
For months.
for yeah.
They are just okay. So let me put myself in the other people's shoes. I understand losing your baby. I can't imagine,
No.
and I can understand trying to find something to make it make sense.
Uh-huh.
And if that's kind of what they've latched on to make it make sense, I mean, but at the same time, they're
Harassing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're just
I
they're.
would be scared for my life.
I would be very scared. I would be very scared because what is she gonna do? Trying to get this. She's sending her Bible verses. She's doing this stuff. Is she gonna throw boiling hot water on her to try to make her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I don't know what to tell you, girl. You're not an a-hole. I mean, I know you know that, but you're not. Your friend kind of is for telling her though that y'all made
like
this
why did
joke.
that even come up?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Why were they talking about her at all?
Mm-hmm. Good point. Yeah, I went out to so and so.
I
We went out and she said that she curses you guys.
like that's
No, not okay.
no. If she didn't want to take sides,
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That's a bad friend. You need to drop her.
Drop her. Just let that fizzle out because you guys aren't already talking. And your boyfriend seems to be supportive, but I'm scared for her.
Me too.
People this unhinged, and I understand that she's
Like that
postpartum.
movie.
Yeah, I understand she's postpartum, and I get that, but
It still doesn't
it
excuse.
does not
And her ex-boyfriend is just as
culpable in the whole situation.
yes. He should have kept his
Right.
junk in his trunk.
Tell her, okay, I've got a better solution, my friend. Spicy meat saucy. Was that her name? Okay.
Meatball is
You
spicy
need
sauce.
you need to just say that your curse was for his junk to fall off. Not not for anything with
Cursing him, not her.
right. Not anything with the baby. The baby's innocent. The baby didn't do anything wrong.
When did the friend tell the ex-boyfriend and the new girlfriend? Like when was that? Was it right after? Like, oh my gosh, we went to this
You're not gonna
Halloween
believe this.
thing.
We went to
Yeah. Like Or was it closer to the time that, like, because why would that like stick out?
Right. I'm sorry, girl. I feel like you need to move. I feel like you need to move. She's just gonna escalate.
Yeah,
There's nothing that's gonna calm her, like, stop this.
no.
She's irrational.
She needs to see a doctor. She
Mhm.
needs to be evaluated because
Yeah. Yeah.
isn't it
Which
illegal to touch people's mailboxes? Isn't
I
it?
thought it was. Or did my mom just used to tell me that, so I never messed with everything. She also used to tell me it was illegal to put the light on in the car.
Speaking of mail, do you want to hear this? Like, I'm such an idiot story.
I'd love to.
You look like you were enjoying that. So I was getting packages ready to drop off at the post office
Hmm.
and put the packages on the trunk of the car and went locked the door, jumped in the car, and drove off. So meanwhile, there was like three or four kids riding their bikes past my house
Hmm.
when I was going, and I get to the post office. I open the back door, and I'm like, "Where are the packages?" I never put the packages in
Oh, they were just
my
right,
car.
right
No,
on
like
top.
I guess as soon as I hit the gas, like they flew off the back of the car. Didn't hear them, didn't see them, nothing.
Right.
Like just I just kept going. I drove
Yeah.
all the way to the post office, drove all the way back. I'm like, oh my God,
Did you find them?
these sweet kids in this neighborhood. I'll put them on my porch.
Those sweet
So they could see
kids.
me coming back into the neighborhood and I guess rode their bikes back to
Yeah.
where my house is. And my house is all the way in the back of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I was like, did y'all put these on my porch? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, thank you so much. And they all started like giggling.
They're gonna tell that story to everybody. This crazy lady.
I
Oh,
was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. And I've never done that before.
yeah.
So there's my dumb mail story.
Well, we all have them. Yours just wins this week. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Have you watched any good movies or seen any good TV lately?
We did actually watch a good movie the other day. We watched Two Guns. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
So it was on, I want to say Prime, maybe Netflix. It has Denzel and Mark Wahlberg. Actiony and funny. Give that a watch.
Denzel was mentioned in some of this like Hollywood stuff, which makes me sad. And now every time I watch a movie, I'm like, or I watch something and it's like one of the people that are mentioned,
Right.
I'm like,
Well, just so the other day I was in my car and I was vibing, windows down. It's been feeling really good, like the fall weather,
yes.
and something came on. I was like, screw this song.
Did you see the TikTok or the reel or whatever?
Uh-huh.
And it was like my whole generation getting our last listens in before
Yes.
all of our favorite artists are canceled.
We're there. I think we're there. I think we're there.
Oh, I saved probably 4 videos, but I think I found the job that I would want.
Okay. What is it?
Not really, but yes.
Okay.
It is a sign language interpreter for for
For rap?
concerts. Yeah.
Yes. Baby Got Back.
Oh my God. And then like to the windows to the wall. Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes. That was great.
I could watch those
I know.
all day
They
long.
are so
They
into it.
uh-huh. I
Yeah.
freaking best job.
Yeah. The other thing that was funny, the song From the Window to the Walls, where it's like, here I am at 80 on a bus and can't remember anything other than the words to that song, and he's like, the window. Yeah.
Yes. So I absolutely like I was
Uh-huh.
eating those videos
Oh
up.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah, they're great.
I probably got like hit with like 10 of them
Yeah.
in an hour, like as I was
Uh-huh.
just scrolling.
Yes.
And I was like, this is awesome.
Well, what was so funny too is, normally when they're translating like that, they are, a little behind of what being said because they have to listen to it and then interpret it. Well, those were just on beat because
Yes,
I mean, they knew
they
the
know the
words. So
words.
they're like, yeah, yeah, it was great. It was great.
So many of them, they have to do these
Oh yeah,
motions
yes, of
things.
different activities or body parts.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, yeah, those are great. Find those if you guys need a laugh. They're great.
Yes, I thought we needed to lighten up the
Yes,
end of this podcast.
100%.
But yeah, so go find those videos. They are so awesome and
They are.
funny, and they just had me giggling.
Yep. And one day you'll see Steph and me doing that.
Speaking of bass, Dylan got his sound system put
So he got
in.
new tires too.
Yes.
Jeez. He's spending all his money.
Sweet Jesus.
I had to get new tires on my car too.
I just still do. I still haven't done it.
What happened to like tires being $100 a piece? Your face went just like, I thought we were lightening it up. We're going back down the rabbit hole
Yeah.
again.
Maybe one day we'll have cost of living come down.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And then we can do these fun things that we were talking about, like a circus family vacation.
Yes. We can hold our own circus.
Oh, yes. Come to the circus.
Oh gosh, that would be so much fun though.
Hmm. Hmm.
Where would y'all want to go if we did a circus vacation where you get to hang out with me and Meredith
Oh my gosh.
for a long
You
weekend?
get us not distracted. You get 100%
You
us.
get 100% ADD.
Well, yeah, but like not distracted with having to go anywhere or do anything. You just get our normal distractions.
Yeah.
You just get our squirrels.
Oh God. And our raccoons.
And then my depression. So it's gonna be a great time.
Your depression, my anxiety,
We're in a great place.
Speaking of raccoons,
Yes.
the wonderful girl April that lived in Florida,
Yeah, yeah.
that I met on this.
Do not tell me she has a raccoon.
So her
Oh.
husband has a business, and he's the animal whisperer, like all these like cats and stuff. But raccoons started coming, and so he feeds the raccoons, and they take like the food out of his hands.
With the little
He showed me pictures,
Oh my
and
god.
it's like all these raccoons, and I was like, oh my God, that's my dream.
Have you seen the TikTok of the like we feed stray cats in our garage, and it's a video of a cat eating and then it pans out and there's a skunk and a raccoon. Come skunk with his mama.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So one of the people in our Facebook group
Mhm.
said that it is not illegal to have a
Mm-mm.
raccoon. So my response, did you read my response?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I said, well, I am not going to steal a baby from its mama, but if it happens to be left
Right.
unattended, I am not opposed
Right.
to becoming its mama.
I can become its mama.
So
We got to have one somehow. How does one find a raccoon that needs love?
Rexy needs a bestie.
I think the raccoon would ride on Rex's back.
Oh my God. I love watching the videos of like the raccoons with the dogs.
Oh my gosh, they're so
They
sweet.
just like annoy him like
Yes.
here.
And then they're riding on the Roomba. Somebody find us a raccoon.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We'll even give you dibs on a potential name. Not saying that you get to name it.
No, but you can get input.
Yes.
We would take that under advisement.
You would get a vote.
Mm-hmm.
A vote in the process.
A vote in the process.
Yes.
And the name of
Mhm. Yeah.
But like only a 10% vote.
Yeah.
Your vote's not a real vote. Anyway, you might not get anything, but find us a raccoon, people.
Dang it. And while you're at it, leave us a review.
Right? Gosh.
Just saying. People are slacking.
Why are they like this? What's wrong with y'all?
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to our witchy episode.
Thank y'all very much. We love you guys.
We do. We will be announcing some stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. Please like, follow. We've been having some fun in our group. So if you're not in our Facebook group, join the Facebook group.
There's been a lot of fun in there. A
Yeah.
lot of fun with funny things, pets. Join and participate.
Please. Thank you.
Please and thank you. Sorry, I need to work on my manners.
And then join us next week for our vampire episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.